Now that we have our table set up and designed the way we want it, we can go ahead and start entering in our data. Up at the top, as you recall, we got a list or the names of all our fields, one for each column. And then all these fields, when we start entering in the data below it, this first blank line item is going to make up a record. Now you'll notice that we only have one blank line item, but we have many records to enter in. The reason why Access doesn't have like 2, 3, 4, or a million blank line items is because it takes up space, it's a waste of space, and it's not as efficient if you open it up and you have all these line items here, especially if you put a record down here or in the middle, or you have to scroll down. In other words, you enter in your first one. If you finish your first record, you get to go ahead and get another blank one. So it stacks it one right underneath the other. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to go from left to right. And as you recall, the first field here is the asset tag, and the data type that we assigned to it was the auto number, so it automatically generates a number beginning with the number 1. So I can leave that alone and skip that, and it'll generate it once I start entering in data in these other fields here. Before I click in the manufacturer field, you notice how it's cut off. If you can't see the name of the fields here, what you can do is you can hover over to the right of that column header, in this case manufacturer, until your pointer turns into black arrows pointing in opposite directions. When you see that, go ahead and click and drag to stretch it open just a bit, or if you're good, you can double click really fast and it'll do what's called a best fit. It'll fit the column to the name of the field here, so I can see completely the name, which is manufacturer. Then I can go ahead and click in the field down below, and as you recall, the data type that I set for this field was a lookup value. In other words, I didn't want people typing in the name of the manufacturers because they could misspell it, and I don't want to have some database integrity issues with all these misspelled manufacturers, but I can control that, control their input, by allowing them to click on the drop down arrow and look up the 3 manufacturers that we have. So I can go ahead and check one. Now also, if you recall, I assign this to have multiple values, this field. That means I can go ahead and check more than one value. So it can include both Spytek and Macron. In other words, maybe I have some parts in this computer from Spytek, maybe some from Macron. Well, we won't do that. We'll just say that the computer was completely manufactured by Spytek. Go ahead and click OK, and well, there you go. There's the auto number. Automatically, after we entered in our first field, the data generated the first number, the first record. And then I can go ahead and continue over to the right, and you'll see down below it has a new line, because I could go ahead and save it right now, which, well, wouldn't make sense because I just have the number 1 and the manufacturer. I want to finish entering in all the other information, which you could do later, but it's best to enter it in all at once if you can. Keep it simple and not have to remember what records are empty. In any case, over to the left-hand side, you also see a pencil, and you see how it's got a dot, dot, dot. That means that this line item I'm still working on. It's in edit mode. I'm not finished with it. I haven't saved it. So if I made a mistake and I'm like, you know what, I really don't want this, I can go ahead and click on the drop-down arrow, uncheck it, or better yet, since I haven't saved it, if you want to, you can hit the escape key. Well, it closes that list there. Hit it again, and it'll close out and just undo what you just put into that first line item. Now if I go back and I go, okay, let me go ahead and choose Spytek again, click OK. Notice how the auto number goes to the next number. Now I don't have record number 1 because this is my first record. Auto number doesn't know that. So if that annoys you, and it does me, then what we can do is let me hit the escape key, clear it out. I'm going to go ahead and do what's called a compact and repair. The operative word in this case is going to be repairing the database. And we'll learn more about this later on, but it's really simple. Just go ahead and click on the File tab, go down to Info, and there it is, compact and repair your database. In other words, when you start deleting things, records, it leaves gaps. You can go ahead and compact that so your database is smaller. It takes up all that empty space. And also, in this case, repair it. So the auto number doesn't give me number 3 or number 4, but it starts with number 1 for my first record. Click on it. And because of some of the changes I made to the layout of my computer table, well, do I want to go ahead and save it? I'll say no. What it does is that in a wink of an eye, when I click on that, it closes my database entirely, opens it back up, and when it's closed, it quickly repairs everything. So if I open up my computers table, and I start over again, okay, let's go to manufacturer, click on the drop-down arrow, Spytek, okay. Hey, there we go, starts back with number 1. Doesn't go to number 2 or number 3 or number 4, so I'll continue. I can hit the tab key on the keyboard and go over to the right, date received. And I can either go ahead and type in the date or that little calendar. I can click on the calendar and go ahead and choose a date there. Or let me go ahead and delete that. If it's today's date, you can use the shortcut key Control semicolon. Automatically puts in today's date. Hit the tab key. The purchase price, let's say, is 65, and hit the tab key. Now if I need to put in cents, I can come back in here, click in there, and select the cents and do 35, hit the tab key. And then for the warranty, I can either go ahead and check the box that yes, it does have a warranty, or since I don't want to use my mouse because I have to take my fingers off the keyboard to go to the mouse to check that, I can go ahead and just use the space bar. Space bar to remove it, space bar to add it. Cool. Now that I'm finished, I can save this record one of many ways. In fact, if I go ahead, and you can see it's still in write mode, if I close out of the table right now, does it save it? Double click, open it up. It does. It doesn't work in all the objects, so it's best to get in the habit of saving things, okay? So let's go ahead and go to record 2, or the blank line that opens up below, and I can say, let's do macron, tab, type in a date, 7/27/11. See, you don't have to go ahead and click on that little calendar, whichever is easier for you. Purchase price, let's do 72.21. Hit the space bar to check the warranty. And so instead of closing out of your table every time to save it, all you have to do is either move your mouse off the record you're working on into, well, the record we have above or below, or you can hold down the Shift key and hit Enter. You can see the pencil's removed because now the record's saved. It not only saves the record, but it keeps you in that line item or on that same record. Or you can go ahead and hit Enter. It'll move to the next blank line item below and also save your record there. Like I said, if you just move off of it, let me make a change. Type in 0. See the pencil's there. If I just move off of it, click up above or below, the pencil's gone. That means it's been saved. Thanks for watching. Hey, as a quick reminder, if you like my video, please give it a thumbs up. You can also click on me and subscribe to my channel to get notified of the latest videos. And for great specials on my products, please see the description below this video.